Mr. Chamisa should answer, and which he should take the nation into his confidence on is he not a project of the ruling regime? It's a genuine, fair, and just question. Anyway, it's surprising that some among us are surprised about this, because in the first place, it cannot be a return because he never went anywhere. He was around, but he participated in the politics of that particular country with his absenteeism and abstinence from public affairs and related matters, leaving a population and a nation that is dying for change after many decades of corruption, political violence, electoral violence, and other violences. So there is no surprise at all, and only Mr. Chamisa can answer the question, what new idea, what new practice, and what new theory does he bring to that troubled landscape in that country?
I want to pick up on your earlier point. I want to pick up on your earlier point where you said one of the questions that begs asking is whether Chamisa is a product of what you termed the ruling regime in Zimbabwe. What do you mean by that? But secondly, he was accused at some point of playing a big role in the fragmentation of the opposition in Zimbabwe, right? From the MDC and what we know then was what followed, even to his party that he then established. Will that work against him ahead of elections and launching this comeback?
What is worrying in African politics, and specifically in Zimbabwe, as we are talking about Zimbabwe, is the tendency by ruling regimes to weaponize and instrumentalize their opposition. So you can have an opposition leader actually working for a ruling regime, managing the hearts and minds of the population to this direction and that direction, while keeping the status quo intact. That's a stubborn question that needs a stubborn answer from Mr. Chamisa himself. Because every other election, the people of that country are marshaled to elections. The elections are rigged. After that, there's a court challenge, and then people go home. The ruling regime continues for another 5 years, and then the same story. And there's this dangerous slogan that is circulating there, that God is in it. God is in everything. What the people of that country need is a leader that will marshal them and general them towards political activity that will deliver change. Not to ask a population of troubled people to look up to divine providence for solutions, when the people have the agency to liberate themselves from domination, from conquest, from exploitation, and other violences. Mr. Chamisa should take the nation into his confidence on that. Why are we supposed to look up to God instead of getting into political activity that will produce positive political change? And Africans need to be worried about that political messianism, where people are asked to pray instead of getting into public affairs and demanding positive change. That's not just a Zimbabwean problem, but an African problem.